So, business analysis is one of the most important aspects of improving businesses in today's modern world, where we have so many different components, so many different departments involved in bringing about a business together and working together as a collaborative team. So what business analysis does is it breaks down every component of the business. It understands what the business needs. It helps the owner of the business understand what the business needs. It decomposes functionality. If there is an application or a product that the business is currently trying to implement or enhance in order to make the product users experience better or give them more functions to perform, that would increase the speed, time, and delivery of the product's capabilities. In that case, the first step is always to understand what the business needs, and the purpose of business analysis is to discover that business need. A business analyst or a business systems analyst is a person who sits down with the business and helps them discover those needs through various processes, such as elicitation of the business problem, and then discovery of business goals in alignment with the strategy of the business. So this is done through a process called facilitation of or a process of collaboration with various departments within the business. A business analyst works with the developers, the testers, subject matter experts, data scientists, or enterprise architects, as well as the project manager, to keep them up to speed on the current status of the project. The main role of a business analyst is to act as a liaison between the business side of the project and the IT team. The business analyst does this by providing detailed documentation, detailed analysis of the current state of the project. The current state of the project is basically documented in the form of processes, activities, the data that the business currently uses, and the processes involved in communicating the information all the way from the data center, from the transactions, from the front end of the business to the back end. Now, the front end of the business is where the actual business events or business transactions take place. Once a business transaction takes place, it is documented by the front end users of the application. They either do this when the customer comes to a store and purchases a product. This product is then sold, and the record is documented within the system or the application, which is then communicated over to the data mart of the business. The data center stores this data through either automated processes or a data steward manages all of this data to enter it into the data mart. The data files are then collected in a single data warehouse where all of this data is available to the business, the backend, the information technology department, to analyze and understand that data, to generate from that data insights into how future decisions will be taken to improve existing processes in the future. Now, this is where the IT team, and more specifically the data analyst, comes in, who analyzes the data, gathers from that data insights that could be used to understand detailed business needs, business objectives, and then document all of that information in a format that is easy and clear to understand by the people who look at those requirements, such as the developers or the data scientists or the enterprise architects who are responsible for documenting the future state of the business. Once all of this information is communicated and the business analyst uses multiple tools and technologies as well as best practices to discover, analyze, elicit, and design and document those requirements. The final step is to verify and validate those requirements, which results in an approval from the business. Once all of the business requirements have been approved, the requirements can go into design over to the developers and the designers or anybody who is responsible for coding the application or the product, or in information technology, in most cases it is an application or a data mart or a web-based software that needs to be developed. Once the developers or the business user experience technical team in the IT department have an understanding of the requirements, they are going to convert those requirements into a detailed design. Now, these designs could be data models. This could be a design document that includes all the code, or this could be business process models or data visualization mock-ups or wireframes, or reporting high-level diagrams that show the data flow of the application. Once these designs are completed, the business analyst will meet with the designers or the developers and the testers and the project manager to validate and finalize the design. Once the design is validated and finalized, the developers will first develop a pilot application that can be tested to make sure that there are no bugs found within the application. Any issues or bugs need to be communicated back to the development team, or after they're tested, needs to be communicated back to the IT team or the IT manager to resolve the issues and finally take those as new requirements. They could be of new requirements, they could be change requests, or they could be simple modification of the application by changing the code in some way. And this needs to be facilitated by the business analyst. The business analyst must facilitate all of the communication to make sure that the correct requirement is being implemented. The business analyst needs to analyze these issues and requests using multiple business analysis techniques such as functional decomposition of the system, or reviewing previous documents, conducting document analysis on those requirements. Or the business analyst needs to communicate with various technical teams for feasibility analysis to understand whether this new requirement or change request can be implemented in the future. So once Once the new change requests have been finalized, the requirements are complete, they can be documented in a requirements architecture where all of the requirements are available for the business to review. And these requirements can be used for traceability to make sure that all the requirements are in testing and development. And the final step would be to get a UAT, a user acceptance testing, from the customer, from the business side, or from the sponsor or the owner of the project, so they can give you final approvals to launch the application into actual user environments where the end users of the application have the product, the final delivery of the product, and they can use it to support their customers in turn.